welcome to the show. My name is Clau and my guest today is Ariel Como. Hi Ariel, how are you doing?
Doing really well, excited to be here.
Originally from Florida and after having lived in New York, kind of all over Manhattan and Brooklyn for 8 years, Ariel moved to Sydney's Bondi Beach. And she is a health and wellness coach and inspires me with her focused approach and hard work in these uncertain times. And she has taken her profession to another level. With a Bachelor of Science in Applied Physiology and Sport Management and over 20 years of training as a professional dancer, Ariel allowed her love of movement to direct her career as a strength and conditioning coach that specializes in injury mitigation, mobility training, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching. She was an educator and mentor across the New York City region for Equinox, the leading health club in America, before deciding to take her career overseas. And as my personal trainer, she has helped me from my knee injuries, which I'm really grateful for. And so I'm keen to talk to you, Ariel, on your perspective of shift in leadership. Great to have you here today. Okay, let's get started. So what I'm really keen to hear, what are your challenges in these times and what are the opportunities that you see?
You know, being a service industry where you're kind of face to face most of the time, it has been challenging just for that mental switch of I don't get to always be face to face with clients. So the lost resource has been finances, right? Like there's just less people that are able to train right now. Yeah. But we've gained this massive resource of time. And that is, I would say, probably our most precious resource. And so with that, I've created I've taken steps toward new opportunities and gotten to do things that have been dreams of my heart for a really long time, filming workouts for people to experience across international borders. You know, I'm here based in Bondi, but a lot of my community is in New York and across the States. And so I've been able to reach people across the world, and just really take the time to figure out all the nitty gritty of that. And I'm designing a website and things like that, and just doing online coaching, outdoor coaching, long distance coaching, and switching up the game a little bit. So that's been a fun challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And such an entrepreneurial mindset, that's you to the next phase. Great to hear. Yeah. Hey, and what do you think, what helps you to increase your thinking power and focus that you need so much right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a bit predictable as a health and wellness coach, but movement is my superpower. And I've found that it's the thing that allows me to reconnect back with myself. And it lets me kind of silence this internal dialogue that can just get us thinking in ways that are not actually rooted in truth, right? We always have these voices inside of our head kind of shifting us one way or the other. And I find that as I move, I'm able to reconnect back to like, what is ultimate truth for me? And even if my current circumstance doesn't reflect that truth, it allows me to see, okay, this is actually what's happening. And even if my circumstance doesn't reflect it just yet. And then the second thing I'd say is play. And research really strongly backs that play and curiosity and like daring behavior, it plays a huge role in brain development. And so as we grow older, our brain actually stops developing in certain ways, but play is one of the things that can cause the biology of our brain to change over time. So I try and incorporate that in my day-to-day, or at least my week-to-week.
Absolutely, such wise words, because reconnecting with yourself and that having that curiosity and play is massive benefit for the brain, but also for just peace of mind, isn't it? And what's your take on reinventing yourself?
So I have mixed feelings on this one. On the one hand, I genuinely believe like our past does not need to define us, and hurts and pains are not meant to formulate our identity. And when we start to identify with those, I think we can get stuck and avoid pressing through the discomfort of overcoming those things. But with that being said, the idea of completely reinventing yourself, I think, can sometimes like abandon our past. And that's an opportunity. Our past is the thing that shapes us. And I think that the areas of adversity that we've overcome in our lives are what our superpowers are buried beneath. And so if you're willing to do the work of pulling off the rubble, the pieces of the rubble, and uncovering it in that thing that you've been burdened for in your life, that you've experienced hardship, there's part of your calling found within that. And so I think to try and completely avoid those things in an attempt to reinvent ourselves is a miss, but at the same time, take all of that with you and allow yourself to keep expanding and growing.
Yeah, no, lovely. And what are the risks you're willing to take through either reinventing or building on the adversity, would you say?
Yeah. I think that I spent a lot of my life doing bold things, right? But I was pretty certain I would be successful at them. Like, they were scary, but I had a plan and I was capable. I moved to New York straight out of college. And then a few years into my career, I began teaching education for the region, and that was scary. Like, public speaking is a really scary thing. Yeah. And I think this question requires just a little bit of backstory for me. You know this about me, Claudia, but my faith is a huge piece of who I am, right? And a life of faith is a life of risk, and it's partnering with God. And so what I started to realize is that when I put myself into positions where I actually couldn't need myself, God showed up in this massive way to bridge the gap. He brought in the miracles through me putting myself in a place where I actually couldn't do it in my own strength or my own skill set or anything like that. And I don't think that life warrants irresponsibility or wishful thinking. I have to do my part. He's not going to show up for things that I'm capable of stewarding. Yeah. But if I give it everything I've got, all the gap between what I've got and what I want to accomplish, he will show up to meet that need and expand that capacity. And so all that to say, the risks that I'm willing to take are ones that come from deep desires and dreams in my heart, because I know that those are the ones that he's partnering with me on, and I can really entrust to him. And yeah, it's the bold ones. So
hey, and what will you be doing differently going forward, or maybe keep doing from these uncertain times?
I think it's honestly relates right back to what we were just talking about. It's taking more risks. I think COVID has kind of pulled the lens back for everybody and revealed like the things that we try and have control over, we don't really have control over. Like, security is an illusion. And, we're meant to work hard and we're meant to do all these things, but we can't quite have our grip on things the way that we want to in our human brains, right? And so I want to push more into the unknown and kind of expand those risky areas. And I was reading this article a couple days ago about risk takers and how risk takers' brains are actually more developed. Like, biologically, their brains have more white matter is what it's called. And those people have optimism and a willingness to take a chance and a belief that they will win. And that's the thing. You have to really have that knowing and belief. So going forward, I just want to keep operating that and keep pressing the boundaries to live this life that's not marked by playing it safe, but risky and big.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing your wisdom, Ariel. Really appreciate it. And I can only repeat that, pushing through into the future with belief and optimism is the way to go. I definitely believe that. So thanks so much. And thank you for being here on the show. Thanks for joining.
Anytime.
See you next time. Keep shifting.
Yeah.